Okay, sir. Okay.
तिकडे युट्यूबच्या लोकांना एंट्री दिली का?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, a very warm welcome to all the members, especially fellow, patron, past chairman, office bearer of CSI Nashik chapter, managing committee member, all SBC and all other participants. Today, we all gathered here virtually for the webinar on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use and manage your own emotions in positive way to relieve the stress, communicate effectively, emphasize with others, and overcome the challenges of diffuse conflict. Emotional intelligence is commonly defined by four attributes like self-management, self-awareness, social awareness, relationship management. Why emotional intelligence is so important and how emotional intelligence affect our life that Karode sir will explain in detail. Now I request Dr. M.R. Sangvi sir, the Vice Chairman of CSI Nashik chapter, to welcome our today's resource person and guide our students. Please, sir.
Yeah. Very good morning to all. I'm really happy to see you all. I wanted to mention one of the point for Karode sir that 77 members are there on YouTube right now. So I welcome on behalf of CSI Nashik chapter to all the participants and especially beloved Karode sir, who is fellow member and my mentor and always supporting Nashik chapter to take into a greater height. With this, myself Mahesh Sangvi, working as Vice Chairman at CSI Nashik chapter, as well as Professor and Head, Department of Computer Engineering, SNJV's Letso K. Bijan College of Engineering, Chandwad, welcome you on this webinar on the great topic like emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very important topic because you can understand that in IS itself, it has weightage of 200 marks. So you can understand very well why it is so important. It is applicable to all the students, all the professionals, everyone in the life. So with this, I wanted to welcome and tell you that which is our committee members. So these are all our managing committee members 2020-21 and some of the members till 2022. So we have chairman of CSI Nashik chapter, Mr. Nitin Mahajan, myself working as vice chairman. We have Sagar Bhausar working as honorable secretary, Vaibhav Dabade as honorable treasurer, and Dr. Preeti Bhamre ma'am, who is immediate past chairman. Rest all are our committee members and nomination committee members. With this, I once again welcome all the fellow members, patron members, past chairmen, office bearer of CSI Nashik chapter, all the committee members of CSI Nashik chapter, and all the participants for this great session of emotional intelligence. Once again, welcome. Over to you, Bandari sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable guidance. Now I take this privilege to introduce our today's resource person, Shri S.R. Karode, sir. I feel honored to have with us the CSI fellow member, S.R. Karode, sir. Sir is the senior life member and patron member of Computer Society of India. Sir is the founder member of CSI Nashik chapter. Sir was the vice president of West region of CSI from 2000 to 2004. Sir was the secretary of CSI from 2004 to 2006. Sir awarded as a fellow member of CSI in 2009. In 1973, Sir was the second topper in university during the study of MSc. Sir has the wide experience of over 35 years in information technology. Sir has started his career as a programmer trainee and reached to the level of general manager in Crompton Greaves Limited. Sir is having the experience of conceptualizing, designing, developing, and implementing all types of commercial applications and work in all sort of software development from second generation system to SAP. Sir was involved in software export and also worked at corporate level in Crompton Greaves. Sir is also working as a visiting faculty to many local colleges. From last 7 years, Sir is heading training function of large engineering company based at Nashik. Sir is that means taking or handling the responsibilities, including designing, developing, conducting, and organizing the training program for employees at all levels across the India and abroad. So without taking much more time, I welcome once again Karode sir, and I request sir to please continue with the session. Sir, I will stop sharing my screen so that sir you can.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Just for your information, Karode sir, almost 184 members are on YouTube.
Very, very
Thank you, sir.
nice to hear that.
And sir, one more note. In the last 10 minutes, we will share the that means test link and certificate link so that student can appear for the test and they can crack the certificate along with the feedback. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
All of you can see the screen.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank CSR Nashik chapter, especially Dr. Mahesh Sanghvi and Rajiv Bhandari for inviting me to speak on the subject of emotional intelligence. I was just scanning the syllabus of engineering college students of all streams, and then suddenly I found that this subject is a part of audit course for one stream, particularly I think it is for third or fourth year students. And then I had a discussion with Dr. Mahesh Sanghvi about having such kind of session for all the students, particularly of our student branches. And with this background, we have designed our today's session. I'm sure this will be very useful to you. All of us have got one common factor, and that is called as emotions. Everybody has emotions. In fact, not only human beings, but even animals have emotions, which you must have observed. If you are having a pet like a dog or a cat, you will find that they are also having emotions. Emotion is a natural instinct of our mind, okay? And they keep on changing, sometimes very fast, sometimes very slow. Sometimes they last for a long time, sometimes they are with us only for a short time. But our emotions are created by the circumstances around, our mood, and our relationship with people around us. Circumstances, when I use the word, for example, when we get the result of our examination and when we score a good mark, we are extremely happy. We keep on laughing, we keep on sharing our joy with others, and vice versa. When we hear a sad news, we always go in what is called as a low mood. The emotions are of two types, what they call as a positive and negative. Positive emotions are love, hope, appreciation, trust, and so on. When somebody appreciates us, saying that you are too good, you are wearing a good shirt today, you seem to be enjoying today, then we are in what is called as a happy emotion or a positive emotion. But whenever we have got some kind of a fear of examination, fear of driving a vehicle for the first time, or when we get angry, there are some people who have got envy about others, or we are very sad when we hear bad news around us. These are generally referred as negative emotions. Emotions are actually our inner feelings. However, even though all these feelings are inside, they are expressed outwardly. It is very difficult to keep all the feelings just inside and remain with blank face. It doesn't happen that way. It reflects on our face, it reflects on our body, it reflects on our behavior, it even reflects on our speech. For example, when we get angry, our voice increases. When we get angry, our face becomes red. When we are sad, and particularly when we are extremely sad, our face is not only down, but even tears comes to our eyes. Or, for example, we are extremely sad, we are crying, and then at that time, if you have got a friend around or our close relatives are around, we hug each other and express our sadness with them. So the feeling may be inside, but the outburst of that or outcome of that is many times on our external behavior. There is another aspect which you have to remember, that if certain emotions remain with us for a very long time, they affect us in a different ways. For example, I have seen the people who are having depression, they are having some kind of scratches on their body or white patches on their body. People who are nervous for a long time, they get into what is called as a depression mode. You must have read the news, which the actress Deepika Padukone expressed publicly that she has undergone what is called as a depression mode for some time. Okay, so these are the kind of thing which just doesn't remain for a short time, but sometimes for a very long time also. Emotions are created by variety of things. Sometimes, basically, it is a part of our gene. It is part of our personality. You must have seen some of your friends are always joyous, while some of your friends are very serious. Those who are joyous, they will always start with a joke, they will always come smiling, they will always pat you on the back, and so on. While some of the people are having what is called as a seriousness on their face, they will speak coolly, quietly, and so on. I don't know whether you have realized or not, but even weather around us also affect quite a lot. I have seen people who say that whenever there is a cloudy weather, they get a headache or they feel nervous on that day because there is no sunlight. In fact, let me tell you something interesting which I have read it, that in the northernmost countries, which are Scandinavian countries, where during the winter, now their winter is starting in the north region of our earth, there is no sunlight for 6 months. Throughout the day, there is almost a darkness. And it has been observed in those countries that people are having psychological effect on their behavior. Many people go for a psychiatrist treatment during this time. So weather affects our emotions also. Whenever we are under a stress of examination, stress of not feeling well, and so on, our emotions get affected. If we do not get a proper sleep, our behavior changes, we get angry very quickly. Remember those days when you are studying very hard in the last month of your semester and burning the candles in the night. How was your mood during the day? That's what effect is. There are maybe many people who do exercises. They do quite regularly. But due to some problem, they miss some exercise days. And on those days, they say that I'm not in a mood today, or my body is having a pain. Even though there is no actually pain, but they feel that there is a pain. So this kind of emotions get expressed when you do not do exercise on a particular day. Age factor. Age factor is equally important. Young people are always energetic, enthusiastic, while the older people slowly become serious, they become what is called as little nervous and so on. Very old people, they are already reached to the mental state that only few days are left out. So some people enjoy those days, but many people are in what is called as a nervous mood. They are quiet and so on. If you have got senior citizens in your house or very senior citizens, that means people who are above 80, just compare their mood and the mood of your parents and the mood of yourself. You will find that all three generations are in a different kind of emotional state. Gender, the mood of males and females also are different. I will not comment much on that. You are all of you are well aware of that. Health. Healthy people are always having the best mood. They are always positive in their emotions. But people who are having sickness, they are generally nervous. They are generally not what is called as keeping well. Their way of speaking is also not very positive, and so on. One of the best medicine to remain in a positive state of mind is to get involved in some kind of social activities. And you will find that the people who get involved into such kind of activities always look very positively around the world. Their behavior is very positive, energetic, active, and so on. However, over the last several years, in fact, since the time the professional world has come into existence, since the time the industrial operation became a part of the life, IQ was given more importance and it had been connected with the success. The mathematics, physics, those kind of science subjects are considered as important subjects. And those scoring good marks in those kind of things are always rated with a very high demand. They are considered as a very high performance, and that is why generally they went up in their life very fast and they achieved the success. However, somewhere around 1980 onwards, psychologists started studying and they were surprised to know that some people, despite having very high level of IQ, are not successful in their life compared to the IQ score they have. They might be successful, but their IQ score may be high, but their success may not be matching with that. And that's where a team of psychologists started studying what is the reason for such kind of things. And there was one person whose name was Daniel Goleman, who brought a theory in 1995. In fact, one book he published, and in which he specifically mentioned that it is not the IQ which you takes you to the success, but it is the EQ which is equally important in your success. If at all you want to succeed in your life, if at all you want to have a happy life, you have to have a good EQ, emotional quotient. You know what IQ means. So, Daniel Goleman released a book in 1995. The title of the book was Emotional Intelligence. And the entire business world, the entire corporate world got a shock. 50 lakh copies in 40 languages were sold of this book. Because this book has shaken the theory which was existing all along for a good number of years. And Daniel Goleman said that emotional intelligence is much more important than just having a good IQ. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is identifying, assessing, and controlling own emotions. And it is not only about, he has not just talked about own emotions, but emotions of people around you, people who are working with you, who are in your group or in your team. So, when we talk about emotional intelligence, first is to identify our own emotions. We have to understand our own emotions. We should be able to manage our own emotions and always convey that you are very positive as far as your emotions are concerned. And this kind of emotional status is to be used for communicating effectively, facing the challenges which you are going to get in our life, Whenever there is a conflict in the group or in the team, we have to resolve those conflicts using our emotions. We have to develop an attitude of empathy. And last but not the least, we have to relieve the stress not only in us but even in the members of our team or our group. Emotional intelligence, as we have said earlier, emotions affect our behaviors and naturally it affects our interaction with others also. For example, if you get angry, then naturally we talk very loudly, we talk very sharply. Sometimes we do not use the right language with the others. And naturally, our interaction with others get affected. Our relationship get affected when we use such kind of language. And that means, even though we know that we have got a quality of getting angry, but we have crossed the line by raising the voice too much or using incorrect language while communicating with others. And that means we are not controlling our emotional intelligence. So, the people who are having very high emotional intelligence, first of all, they always keep a tab, they keep always a control on their own emotional state. They understand that my original nature may be getting angry, but now time has come to start controlling them. I will give an example of this little later, an excellent example, and you know that person very well. Secondly, we have to appreciate the emotional state of others also. For example, when we are working together in a group or in a team, some other person may be feeling sad about some incident which might have happened in his personal life, or maybe he had not done well in the examination. It is our duty to go near him or her and help that person to come out of that emotion, give a positive injection to that person, and ensure that he comes out of that kind of a state. Emotional intelligence helps us to have a proper relationship with other people, and naturally, it leads to success of our work. And the end of it, that means we achieve all our goals which are set at the beginning of our life. Emotional intelligence has got five attributes: self awareness, self regulation or self management, empathy, motivation, and social skills. We are going to discuss about these five attributes in detail. And before I am going to conclude, we are going to I'm going to tell you that how to develop a good emotional intelligence in you. It is something which you can develop. And I will give it just few minutes back. I said I will give an example of the person, how he control his own emotions and what kind of success that person has achieved. So let us discuss these five attributes in detail. First is self awareness. Here, we have to remember that we have to understand ourselves. I have seen many people, particularly many young students with whom I generally have a lot of interaction. They themselves are not knowing their own qualities, good or bad. And that is where I tell them or I teach a subject called as SWOT analysis. SWOT. S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. It is something, an excellent analysis. All the young people like you must do it. Remember, when you do this analysis, we have to be very honest with ourselves because it is our own analysis. If we analyze ourselves correctly, we will be able to find an appropriate solution for that. So, what we have to do? We have to do a good write up of our own strength and our own weaknesses. What are my strengths? I have passed engineering degree. I have got a good handwriting skills. I can sing well. I can dance well. I can do this. Even I can do cooking very well. Any small things which you consider as a positive in that in your own uh, personality, you should write down on that paper. Even suppose tomorrow you get two, three more degrees, you write down. I have got this degree, I have got this degree, I have got this degree, I have got so much experience, I have got experience in this area. All these points are your strength. Parallelly, you have to write down your own weaknesses also. What are my weaknesses? My handwriting is bad. I cannot sing, or my voice is not that good, or I get angry very fast, or I get emotionally disturbed very fast. I cannot control my temperament, and so on. And let me tell you, when you write down your strengths and weaknesses, talk to your parents, talk to your teacher, talk to your friends, and ask the opinion about you from them also. Then you will be surprised to know that your parents, your friends may tell you, do you know that you have got this good quality which you don't see because for you it is a part of the habit. But for them it is something they don't have it and you have it. So write down such strengths and weaknesses. Why should we do this write up of SW, strength and weaknesses? Because SWOT analysis concept says that if you strengthen your strength, that means if you, whatever strength you have got, you make them more strong, then you are likely to get some kind of an opportunity in your life with reference to those strengths. And parallelly, if you have got some weaknesses and if you cannot control those weaknesses, then sometimes in your life they may go against you. They may create a threat in your professional life, in your personal life, and so on. And that is why this concept of self assessment, SWOT analysis is to be done. And while doing that, naturally, we will come to know about our emotional style. And once we know the emotional style, we will also come to know how to control them. One more quality which gets developed as people grow, but it is better to develop that quality at an early age, and that is never allow our work, our decision making, our performance by our emotions. Many times you must have seen in India that quality is there. Many of our decisions are affected by the emotions. In India, a controversy can be started by even a smallest level of one emotional statement, and the whole chaos is created. So we have to understand that we cannot allow our feelings, our action to get affected by our emotions. And naturally, if we do all these kind of things, what we develop is a self-confidence. I'm going to show you some videos during the program. I'm going to show you two videos. Many of my videos are part of some films which you already seen. In the first video, you will see two sides, one senior person and few younger people, and see how they talk about themselves. See how the senior talk about that himself and how the junior talk about themselves. And in the second video, you are going to hear a speech about one great industrial personality in our country, how he talks about the skills, the quality of his own people, of his own company, and so on. Knowing about ourselves and expressing about ourselves. Here is another interesting video, a small speech by none other than Shri Ratan Tata.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure and a great privilege to be here this evening. A little overwhelming, if I might say so. And I'm overwhelmed. Let me just say that on all the years and the varying varying capacities that I've tried to work in India, the most fascinating period of time that I've had is in the automotive area. The automobile business is truly an emotive and a tremendously rewarding business. It has more excitement than any other business I've been involved in. And the greatest pleasure I've had is trying to do something that everybody says could not be done. I'll just share perhaps a moment in time which I will always cherish. I decided that India could produce its own car. Everybody, my friends overseas in the automobile business, said that this couldn't be done. We had to go through a collaboration to get know-how, get technology. But we undertook to produce this car. You saw images of it in the video. It was called the Indica, and we produced it in India, totally of Indian content. As we got close to putting it in the market, my friends in India somewhat distanced themselves from me, otherwise known as distancing yourself from failure. And when the car came out, I suddenly felt that I didn't have a friend in the world and that all the warnings that people had given me were probably going to come true. But the car did come out. It did earn a 20% market share, and we showed that we could do something. Throughout the time I've been involved in business, there hasn't been anything that has equaled the excitement, the reward, and the exhilaration that the car industry has provided and can provide. It gives, as has been said earlier, an opportunity to test new technologies, new building methods, but above all, it has helped in the transformation of the Indian economy to a mobile economy. And a great deal of what has happened in India has happened right here in Detroit. The world owes a great deal to the United States for doing what it did to get the car industry to be taken for granted the rest of the world as it has over the years. It's a great pleasure to be involved in the industry and a very humbling recognition to receive the award that's been bestowed today. I owe this to my colleagues in the company who have transformed this business, and I would like to thank the automotive news who put together this award, and to say how much I cherish being included in the Hall of Fame. Thank you so much.
I think in both the videos you must have seen the way in which the people are talking about themselves, about their good qualities, about expressing or indirectly their bad qualities, and particularly Mr. Tata speaking so confidently about himself as well as his own people, his own company, and so on. In fact, he gave the message that we can do it. That's what I mean by self awareness. Next is self management. Self management is one of the most important quality everybody must have it. And if those people who are having extremely good self management, let me tell you from my own experience over the last several years that the people with whom I had an opportunity to work, my seniors, one of the things which I copied from them, and I always believe good things are to be always copied, is about their self management quality. These are the people who are well managed from a small thing like about attending a meeting in time, about their documentation, about commitment to complete the work, about achieving a success, and so on. Not only that, these are the people who are controlling their emotions and impulses. No decisions were taken on any impulse or any reaction mode. But while taking any decision, one has to think about various options which are available to us and then select the best option out of what is available. People who control themselves, who are managing themselves, are generally the people who are what is called as a thoughtful, खूप विचार करणारी माणसं असतात. Most important quality these people have is they change, they feel very comfortable when any change happens. Now, I will give my own experience over the last 2 to 3 months. Because of this corona, the entire education system has come into little sort of a tension. And whether you take a school from lower KG onwards to the higher level education like what you are undergoing, everybody had switched over to what is called as an online learning. But I happen to come across many people who are comfortable with online education and who are not comfortable with this online education. And then I started studying those people. Who are the people who are comfortable and who are not uncomfortable? And this is where I found this theory works perfectly. I observed that those who are self managing very well, those who are managing their own personality very well, they are the people who accepted this change, got adjusted themselves, and went ahead with whatever limitations they have. Not that online education provides all the facilities, but fine, in the current situation, what best I can do it. But the people who are not managing themselves, those who are not regulating themselves properly, they were always complaining, they were always criticizing, they were always saying that this will not work. You know, something interesting? These are the people who come from student community who used to put scratches on the screen when the lecture is going on. They were expressing that they are not happy with this change by putting what is called as a line, crosses, and whatnot, all kind of funny pictures on the screen, misusing the Zoom technology or online online meeting technology. One of the important quality these self-regulation regulated people are integrity. And because they are extremely good at managing their time, they have got frankness about saying no also sometimes when they very well know that they cannot do something or they cannot achieve something or they do not have time for something. Next is empathy. Please go to Google, please go to English dictionary and try to understand the difference between the two words sympathy and empathy. And once you come to know the difference between the two, you will appreciate the importance of the word empathy and why this quality we must have it. Sympathy is in simple Marathi word, it is only sahanabhuti. But in empathy, we go much ahead of that. We are not just feeling happy or feeling sad about it when anything happens, but we also try to understand the wants and needs of other person. We try to understand the feelings. We try to understand the viewpoints of other person. And then accordingly, we develop our relationship with that person or we take a decision when we are working in a team and so on. Empathy is one of the best quality one can have to improve our relationship. And that can be developed by developing an attitude of listening and appreciating. We have to be open minded and be honest in our work, in our behavior, in presenting our own personality. I'm going to show you two videos. The first video talks about person having no empathy, and the second video will talk about having empathy. Let's see how it is.
नमस्कार बाबूजी।
कैसे दिया है? कितने का है?
बाबूजी 30 रुपए का, बिल्कुल ताजा बाबूजी, मलाई वाला मीठा बाबूजी।
ये 30 रुपए का कल लूट मचा रखी है क्या तुम लोगों ने? 15 का दे रहे हैं, बता।
बाबूजी क्या बात कर रहे हो? सुबह से हम धूप में खड़े हैं बाबूजी, हमें भी रोटी खानी है बाबूजी, 15 की तो लागत नहीं है हमारी।
चल, चोर है तू, चोर।
अरे वो लाल शर्ट वाले बाबूजी,
क्या हुआ?
कितने का लिया आपने?
35 रुपए की।
35 रुपए का? और कितना कम कराया इस ड्रिंक में आपने?
पागल है तू, ब्रांडेड चीज है, इसमें थोड़ा कुछ कम होता है।
वाह बाबूजी वाह, अमीरों से आपने 1 रुपया कम नहीं कराया और हम गरीबों से 15 रुपए कम कराने को बोला आपने बाबूजी।
एकदम एकदम सही बात की है तुमने।
You see how we behave in the society. When we try to buy anything on the street vendor, we keep on negotiating, hard bargaining. But when we go to mall, whatever the price is quoted, we just throw that money and get that item, whatever we want to have. Let's look at the second video. How one can show empathy in our day-to-day life. If we develop of expressing even a small such act of kindness with others, you are slowly developing an emotional intelligence attribute called as empathy. Next part is motivation. Motivation is again, some people are born with motivation. They are highly motivated all the time, highly energetic, highly active. They are always doing something. They are always having some new ideas and so on. They are having a huge amount of energy, physical energy, mental energy, and so on. Every day morning they keep on saying, I can do it, and not I can't. And these are the people having an extremely high level of persistence. वो दिया हुआ काम छोड़ते नहीं है, मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं, one day or other I will achieve that. And that is where there is a strong desire in them to achieve something. They always think that one day or other I will get a success, one day or other I will get the result which I am looking for. Maybe it will go on for a long time. I don't know. You must have, during this pandemic time, right in the month of March and April, in India on the Doordarshan, they showed the great two serials on which our entire Indian culture is built, called as Ramayana and Mahabharata. In both the serials, if you look at that, in Ramayana it is Lord Ram, and in Mahabharata it is Pandava. They were sent to the jungle for 14 years, but they were always be optimistic that one day we will come back and get back our own kingdom. That is what I mean by the people who are motivated and they deliver something on that. What we have to learn from these two, Ramayana and Mahabharata, is that we have to be motivated. It may take 14 years sometimes to wait to get my own kingdom, but I have to wait. Result cannot come just like that. But today we are having such kind of attitude where we want fast success. We want everything to happen quickly, suddenly, and so on. It doesn't happen that way. It is said that everything requires its own time to get that, to reach to that. And last but not the least, the people who are motivated are the highly committed people. Another interesting video I'm going to show you on motivation. You first see the video and then I will give the explanation about that video. To what extent one can be motivated? I consider this video as one of the best video on the subject of motivation. The person who is not only motivated, but he motivates all others also.
I have no arms and no legs, but I'm very thankful that I have my little chicken drumstick here. I wasn't ready. I have no arms and no legs, but I'm very thankful that I have my little chicken drumstick here. People freak out when they see me for the first time. It's so cool. I was at a water slide all by myself. Everyone obviously at the bottom of the slide is looking up and waiting for other people to come down, and here I come and they're freaking out. They're like, you know, like this. And I was so tempted to look at myself and go, what happened? You know? And there were times where I sort of looked at my life and thinking, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you keep on concentrating on the things that you wish you had or the things that you wish you didn't have. And you sort of forget what you do have. And there's no point, I believe, in my life where I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, I wish I had arms, legs, because wishing won't help. But what I've seen in life are just a couple key principles, and the first thing that I've seen is to be thankful. It's hard to be thankful, man. I tell you, when I was 8 years old, I sort of summed up my life and thought, I'm never going to get married. I'm not going to have a job. I'm not going to have a life of purpose. What kind of a husband am I going to be if I can't even hold my wife's hand? It's a lie to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie to think that you're not worth anything. Oh boy. Woo! It's freezing, I can't feel my hands. I love life. You know, so many people come and say, how come you smile so much? And I'm like, well, it's a long story. But it's very simple at the same time. You see, it's very hard to smile sometimes in life. There are things that happen that you don't know and you don't understand, and you don't know if you're going to get through it. You know, you go through your storms in life and you don't know how long this storm is going to be. And today I want to share with you some principles that I've learned in my life that you can use in yours. being patient is beautiful. I tell you, it's the hardest thing. But I realize I may not have hands to hold my wife's hand, but when the time comes, I'll be able to hold her heart. I don't need hands to hold her heart. You know, it is scary to know how many girls have eating disorders. It is scary to know how many people are just angry at life because of their situation at home and angry at others. It's scary to know how many people actually feel like they're worth nothing. Every single girl right here, right now, I want you to know that you are beautiful. You are gorgeous just the way you are. And you boys, you're the man.
On this DVD, I share my experiences in life of how I've overcome challenges and seen a new, fresh perspective in life. To be thankful, to dream big, and to never give up. I speak to children, youth, and adults about key issues and principles that I've applied in my life that has given me the strength to conquer all that comes before me.
The person who doesn't have arms and legs, the person who says that I cannot do anything in my life, maybe on my own. When he said he was young, many times he thought of committing suicide because he is going to be a load to the society, useless person. He decided one day that he will utilize his own life for doing something else. And you know what he does? He gives motivational lectures to young people like you, to the school children, to the college students, and so on. That's what I mean by motivated personality. I don't have anything. He said that we always think about negative things what we have, but we don't talk about what positive thing we have. And the moment we start thinking about what strength I have got, we automatically becomes motivated. Last but not the least is the social skill. Social skill means you are working in a team. For example, some of you may be working in the project work this year. Some of you might have participated in our CSR project competition, or some of you could be getting into the work of project work next year, and so on. And at that time, we are going to work in a group, we are going to work in a team. And if at all we have to achieve a success in our project work, first thing one has to do is what is called as building relationship. We have to develop rapport with others. So one of you could be a leader of that team. And leadership just not sitting in the captain chair. It has got so many things to do. We have to get the work done from the team members. We have to show them that I also have those skills like what you have. And what is called as deliver the result. We have to not only persuade those other team members who they are having difficulties, but we have to help them, we have to inspire them. And one of the person I always considered as great, and you know him very well, who has built the Indian cricket team, Mr. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He has taken the team to the highest level in the entire sports, in the entire cricket world. I don't know whether you know the statistics or not, but I know it very well, and I will be happy to share with you that when Mr. Dhoni was the captain of the Indian cricket team was in top 3 numbers in all the formats of the game. They were top 3 in one day, they were top 3 in test cricket, they were top 3 in T20. Remember, in a competitive world, it's not easy to remain in top 3. And it is not he who was doing the work. It was the skill of his own personality which made every team member to perform in their best. And that is what I mean by social skills. That is what I mean by social skills. Another aspect which I request all of you to start working on that is to have your own network. A network beyond your computer students, beyond your computer friends. You have to have friends who are working, who are studying in civil, electrical, mechanical, architecture, doctor, and so on. You don't know when that friendship is going to help you in your life in future. You don't know. Do you have that wide network? If not, start working on that. Start working on that. So, these are the things which five skills form the base of what is called as emotional intelligence. Before we proceed further, let's see one more video on social skill. How one develops a social skill attitude. How one has to do the work in society. We have to develop this kind of what is called as societal attitude in order to improve our what is called as social skill. Now, when we talk about all these five attributes, what should be the sequence of developing these skills? So, first step will be to identify our own self-awareness, and later on start working on self-management. So, the moment you become self-awareness, you develop the quality of self-awareness, you understand yourself. Parallelly, you will develop an attitude of social awareness also. And with all these three qualities developed, automatically one gets into what is called as relationship management quality. All along, I said earlier, importance was given to IQ and less importance was given to EQ. Let's see the comparison between the two. IQ always talks about logic, like the way in which we solve our algebraic equations or geometry theorems. While EQ talks about self-awareness, however we are, whatever our qualities, good or bad. It doesn't talk about A plus B is equal to C. I'm A, I don't have B, and I would like to reach to the point of C. Next is, for anything what we do in under IQ, we always give what is called as a mathematical reasoning. It's like logical answering. But when we know about ourselves and when we start working on managing ourselves, we develop a different kind of quality under EQ. Next is, based on the logic, based on the mathematical reasoning, under IQ people take the decisions. But under EQ, these are not the only criteria for taking decisions. There could be many more things which are attached to that, and then the decision is taken. You will appreciate this point when you get into the profession, that how certain decisions are taken, even though it is not just supported by the logical or mathematical reason. When we talk about IQ, we talk about verbal reasoning, how one convinces the others. a typical debate thing which used to happen in our school days or college days. But under EQ, what is important is the relationship skill, not just scoring the points in arguments. And lastly, the important quality of social awareness, which I showed you a small example in the previous video. Even if you work on such small things, we will keep on developing this social awareness. Please remember, it is not just the IQ which will take you to success, but it is IQ plus EQ which will take you to the success. IQ is just 20 to 25% of our what is called as the skill, our attitude, and so on, and which is shown like an iceberg above the water. But if at all one has to succeed in the life, one has to develop EQ, and that's where the success is there when we work on that 75% of our quality. How to raise emotional intelligence? We have to, first of all, we have to think why I should raise emotional intelligence. We have to understand in our brain there is an emotional side, not just the mathematical and reasoning side, but there are emotions also. Okay? These emotions, if you work on this development of emotional intelligence, then it helps us to developing certain qualities. For example, we never repeat our mistake. I always say jokingly to my colleagues that you are welcome to make a new mistake, but you are not allowed to repeat a mistake. In fact, many IT innovative companies like Google, they also say the same thing, that you are welcome here to make mistakes, but do not repeat it. Secondly, it helps us to develop what is most important quality called as decision making ability. You are in the life many times important decisions are to be taken. Say you are in a business, you are holding the post of a manager, you are a leader of a sports team, or even now when you are a leader of going to be of your project work. At that time, many times a situation will come where you have to take a certain decision. Now, which decision I should take? Which decision I should take? For example, when you are going to carry out the presentation of your project, who should give the presentation? I should give, he should give, or all should give. It's a very important decision. It looks to be very simple, but it's not that simple. If one has to give the best presentation of the project, one has to take the best decision also. Okay? And when we have to take the best decisions, we keep on developing an attitude that the best decisions are taken by studying various options which are available to me. Not just irrational decision, not just decision by impulse, but I must study what options are available to me. For example, captain of cricket team keeps on thinking that now I have to win the match. 18 overs are already completed. Only 2 overs are left. The opposite side has to make 20 runs to win the match. Now, which is the best bowling option I have, which will either take the wickets or not allow other two team to make 20 runs? Now, that is what it is. What are the options available to me? How many bowlers have completed their quota? And how many bowlers are this thing? And remember the first World Cup T20? Everybody was laughing at Mr. Dhoni when he gave the last over to whom? Everybody said, why to him? That's what it is. What options I have got available to me? What kind of bowling that bowler is going to do? What kind of fielding I have to set? And so on. The decision is not by emotion, but it is by some kind of a logic or some kind of a what is called as a combination of logic as well as some kind of an emotion that this bowler, well, if I give him the chance, he may deliver the things. So how to develop? how to develop these EI attributes. Okay. These are 5 important points which we must remember. First is we have to learn how to reduce the stress. Second is we have to understand our own and the emotions of our own colleagues also, and we should be able to manage those emotions. We have to learn what is called as verbal and non-verbal communication techniques. We should not forget life is a fun also. We have to add humor in our behavior also. And last but not the least, we have to always remember that we are not going to live with the conflicts, but we have to resolve all the conflicts, and that too in a positive fashion. How to reduce the stress? In order to reduce the stress, we must learn some techniques. One of the techniques which nowadays people talk about is attending the class of yoga. Yes, it definitely helps. But at the same time, we must slowly learn the technique of calming ourselves. I told you I will give an example of one person who had changed himself in his life and achieved the greatest success. His name is, you know the name, his name is one of the great sports personality of current time. The name is Roger Federer. Roger Federer was having a very bad temper when he was very young, when he was learning tennis. Even though he was having excellent quality of playing tennis, he used to spoil his game by his bad behavior, bad temperament. And one day his coach told him that if you have to succeed in your life, it is not just the technique, it is not the IQ of playing good tennis which is going to help you, but you have to develop an EQ of controlling your anger also, controlling your stress also. And that's where he decided that he will learn to remain cool. And now you see how cool he is and what kind of success he has achieved. He has won 20 Grand Slam tournaments and more than 100 other tournaments. It is not just that. He is in the top 4 tennis players in the world at the age of 38. When people in tennis retire by the age of 30, that's what the change it brings when you try to control your stress, when you try to control your mind, when you try to control your body, when you try to control your temperament. So we have to learn how do I reduce my stress at the earliest, how I control my mind and my body. Next is we have to appreciate the emotions of others also. We have to appreciate our own emotions and we have to appreciate emotions of others also. Remember, we should never allow our actions and our thoughts to be influenced by our emotions. आपण जो काही काम करतो, आपण जो काही डिसिजन घेतो, त्या आपला तो काम करण्याची पद्धत आणि आपली जी निर्णय घेण्याची पद्धत आहे त्याच्यावर आपल्या भावनांचा कंट्रोल नसला पाहिजे. कुठली गोष्ट रागाने करायची नाही, कुठली गोष्ट अत्यानंदाने पण करायची नाही. Okay, so both extremes we have to avoid it. Secondly, we have to appreciate our own emotions also. Appreciate means we have to understand. For example, when we get angry, what happens to me? I stand up, I raise my voice, my hands start shivering, my face becomes red. Sometimes I use incorrect words and so on. All these things one has to study about own self and develop a habit of controlling all these kind of acts. It is not an easy exercise, but if you work on that, it is possible to have a control over all these kind of physical, facial, and emotional things which happen to our body and to ourselves. And then we start controlling our emotions, we start controlling our emotional behavior and our decision making. म्हणजे निर्णय घेण्याची जी प्रक्रिया आहे त्याच्यावर माझा इमोशनचा इफेक्ट होत नाही. माझा डिसिजन हा एका पर्टिक्युलर लॉजिकवर आहे, एका पर्टिक्युलर प्रोसेसवर मी माझी डिसिजन मेकिंग करतो. Next is non-verbal communication. I will suggest you to attend some program on communication skills where there is a discussion on what is called as a verbal communication and non-verbal communication. You have to understand that in the total communication, verbal communication is only just 40%, but non-verbal communication is 60%. And what is the non-verbal communication? When we get angry, we not only say the words, but our voice increases. We stand up from the chair, get up from the chair and stand up. We raise our hand. Our eyes become big and sometimes red. All such kind of body changes which are happening are called as non-verbal communication. Opposite things happen when we get happy about it. All this kind of non-verbal communication, we have to understand about ourselves and we have to understand about other persons also. I will tell you my personal experience that whenever I used to sit on the interview panel and when the candidate used to enter the room, within 2 to 5 minutes, I used to convey to my other people in the interview panel whether this candidate is worth taking or not. Because in 2 to 5 minutes, the body language, the gestures, the eye contact of that person were telling me whether he knows the subject, whether he is interested in the job, or whether he is really serious about doing any work. That's the importance of non-verbal communication. And you have to learn this non-verbal communication, develop good habits of non-verbal communication. Humor. You have to always enjoy the life also. Don't be serious all the time. The subject of emotional intelligence could be serious, but you have to enjoy it. Look at the picture on the right side. And that's what the humor is. Okay? So whenever we do any work, add some humor to that. In the day, at least it is said that you should at least laugh for a few minutes every day. If not anything, see some comedy serials, read some jokes, get some jokes on WhatsApp, share jokes with others, talk to others in a funny way, enjoy our life a little bit. Not only that, I will tell you one of the example of my colleague in the office. He had a very extraordinary quality that whenever in any meeting there is to be a situation which is in tension, there is to be arguments and so on. This man actually used to cut a joke and suddenly the atmosphere of the meeting will change. And he was having क्या बोलते हैं जिसको उसका guts भी इतने अच्छे थे. He used to cut the joke even though some senior management person is sitting there. I asked him one day that, how dare you cut the joke? He said, so what, yeah? There is a meeting which is in tension. My job is to reduce the tension. So I cut the joke. And did you see our boss? He was also happy about it. That's the important part of it. You have to learn how to be happy, create a happiness around. We have to relax. And please remember, relaxation also develop energy in us. And best part is that play some kind of a game. It can be any game. You don't have to play cricket every time, go to the ground and so on. Not necessarily. Okay? Interesting. At least for 20 minutes, play some game on computer also and enjoy it. You will find that your attitude towards your own and your own colleagues and your own relatives will change. You have to have enjoyment. You have to have playtime and so on. But just don't play only computer games. Huh? Play some other games also because you are all young people. All these computer games are all people for people like me who can't play now the games on the ground. You should go to the ground and play. Okay? Right. So last is the conflict resolution. Whenever you are going to work in a project, you are going to have a situation where there are going to be some kind of a conflict. And our job is to reduce the conflict. You have to reduce the conflict. When you have to reduce the conflict, In a team, we have to understand the opinions of all the members. We have to understand their expectation. We have to give chance for them to say, and without forgetting the result which you have to achieve, we have to come out with the solution which will keep all the people happy. It is possible to solve all the conflicts. Sometimes we have to follow what is called as a give and take policy. Sometimes we have to follow the policy of what is called as forgiveness. छोड़ दो यार, वो कल उसने क्या बोला उसे छोड़ दो, उसने सॉरी बोल दिया ना, तो छोड़ दो अभी ना. Why you want to keep it for rest of your life? वो मालूम नहीं 1 साल के बाद ये हम लोग कभी मिलेंगे कि नहीं. So we have to keep an attitude of forgiveness. We have to talk about forgiveness and all those kind of things, and you will find many such conflicts get reduced. And let me tell you one important thing. You know, many conflicts are generated by a very small and irrelevant incidents only. उसने ये मुझे बोला करके हमारा झगड़ा हो गया. And we come to the last video of our program, which will give you several examples of people having EQ and people having IQ, and what kind of results, positive results it generates when one has good EQ. So let's enjoy this. This is one video I found it on YouTube. 3 videos are part of the film, only none of the video I have made it. But this is something I found it very interesting because the boy had done a good collection and collated the various incidents in a nice way to convey the message of EQ and IQ.
सब सब्जेक्ट्स में फर्स्ट मॉम. Algebra, geometry, physics, chem, bio, history, English, geography.
गुड. और हिंदी में?
हिंदी में सेकंड, वो भी सिर्फ 2 मार्क्स से.
Can I say something? I'm the type of person, if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you that I don't know. But I bet you what? I know how to find the answer, and I will find the answer. Is that fair enough?
I can do it.
No, you can't. No one can. It's bullshit.
No, I'm pretty sure I can do it.
No, you can't.
Let me see it. Give it here.
Oh, listen, we can drive around all day. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I can. Listen,
Yeah, exactly. No, you can't.
We'll see.
$80, $200, $20, $30, $40, $50. Anything else?
No, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
You.
You ready?
पच्चीस टाइम झाड़ू मारो तो भी कम है. हम इंसान है कि मशीन? कितना टाइम साफ करेगा? मैं मरता रहूंगा दिन भर, झाड़ू मारता रहूंगा. सब यहीं से जाएंगे, दूसरी जगह से नहीं जा सकते. अरे उधर मत चलो, अभी साफ किया है. सॉरी. क्या सॉरी? तुम तो सॉरी बोल के निकल जाएगा. सबका क्रिकेट अपन को सुनना पड़ेगा. सुनेगा? 20 साल से तो सुनता है.
काका,
नाम क्या है तुम्हारा?
क्यों? कंप्लेन करने का है? मकसूद नाम है मेरा, जाओ करो।
कंप्लेन नहीं करने का, थैंक यू बोलने का। सच्ची। तुम बहुत मस्त काम करते हैं मकसूद भाई। पेशेंट लोग जब ठीक होता है ना तो सब डॉक्टर को थैंक यू बोलता है। तुम साला सबका कचरा पट्टी उठाता है, तुमको कोई थैंक यू नहीं बोलता। मेरे को तुमको थैंक यू बोलने का मकसूद है। थैंक यू मकसूद है। सॉरी।
कोई बात नहीं, जा जा, हो जाएगा साहब।
ओके राजतिलक जी साहब, इन जवानों के शव सामान के साथ वहां रखो। बाबूलाल, बाबूलाल तुम यहीं रुकोगे। ये भागीरथ बुरी तरह जख्मी है, इसका ख्याल रखो। जी साहब। थोड़ा फर्स्ट एड और पेन किलर इसके पास छोड़ दो। जी। अगर हम लोग जिंदा वापस नहीं आ सके तो हो सकता है हमारी रेजिमेंट को तुम्हें ढूंढने में 2-3 दिन लग जाए। ये और पानी रखो। ऑलराइट, अब हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए वाराणसी से ही हम 6 आदमी जाएंगे।
मुझे ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है कि आप लोगों को ये अंधेरा अच्छा लगने लगा है? आदत सी पड़ गई अंधेरे की, नहीं? कब तक आप लोग अपनी हर समस्या को लेकर हाथ पर हाथ धरे बैठे रहेंगे? यहां पर हम एक रेजर्वॉयर बनाएंगे। मेरा मतलब एक पानी की टैंकी बनाएंगे और इस टैंकी में पानी जमा होगा। तो इसी रेजर्वॉयर से 2 पाइप जाएंगे पॉइंट A3 की तरफ। A3 पे एक शेड होगा जिसमें एक टरबाइन हो, मतलब मशीन। जब इन पाइप्स का पानी उस टरबाइन पर पड़ेगा तो टरबाइन तेजी से घूमेंगे और अगर सब सही हुआ तो बिजली पैदा हो। रेजर्वॉयर यहाँ बनेगा, पानी की टंकी, लंबाई 5 मीटर, गहराई 1 मीटर, यानी 1 हाथ बटा 5 हाथ। उसके लिए छोटे पत्थर, बड़े पत्थर और झाड़ियां साफ करनी है पहले। समझ आया? देखिए, हम लोग 4 ग्रुप बनाएंगे। पहले ग्रुप में लोहार जो सारे पाइप और लोहे का काम करेंगे। दूसरे और तीसरे ग्रुप में कुम्हार और कढ़ाई होंगे जो टंकी की पुताई का काम करेंगे। और अब आप लोग आपस में 4 ग्रुप बना लीजिए।
Wear one tomorrow, though, okay? Because tomorrow's going to be your first day. If you'd like to work here as a broker. Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Welcome. As easy as it looked? No, sir. Sort of what? Good luck, Chris.
So, dear students, thank you very much. I hope you have got a basic idea about this subject. This is just a small session I could conduct. Actually, on this kind of subject, one has to spend a good number of hours, understand the subject, and last but not the least, start practicing this subject. Please remember, having emotional intelligence is going to play a big part in your life when you get into the profession, particularly when you become senior in your profession, in your organization, and so on. So thank you once again. Thank you CSR Nashik chapter. Thank you Dr. Mahesh Sanghvi, Rajiv Bhandari, and the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a great session. Because of this pandemic situation, the peoples are really under stress, economically, as well as physically, as well as mentally also. Okay, but this session really helpful for them to get out from those situations, how emotionally you are able to handle such situations. So it was really a great session, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this session. Now I request Professor Desai, sir, to propose the vote of thanks.
Before, hello, Bhandari
Yes,
sir,
sir.
before that, any questions if they want to ask, or they can post it, or however you can get them. People have already raised some questions, just if any, give them 2-3 minutes if they want to post any question.
Okay, sir, I will check out the YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
meanwhile, sir will deliver the vote of thanks. Then we will take a question answer.
Yeah,
Is it okay,
sure,
sir?
sure, sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this session. First and foremost, I thanks our special guest, Sri S.R. Karode sir, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this session. It was very wonderful session and takeaway message from your session, sir. There are some points that I have noted here. That is, you said that the emotions affects our behavior. It is one of the great message that always emotions affects our behavior, and also you give the some importance regarding emotional intelligence and describe emotional intelligence attribute, that is self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. Also, you share some good videos about self-awareness. It is very wonderful videos and give very good messages. Also, you are describing self-management. That is, self-management play an important role in emotional management and in our day-to-day activities. Also, you describe the self-respect is one of in our life. Build your own, and you also noted that some point that build your own network. So this is some of the message that is come from this session. I am also thankful to CSI fellow, patron, past chairman, CSI managing committee members of Nashik chapter, and office bearer for support in this session. Also, I thank CSI organization for arranging this wonderful session. Last but not the least, I thank you all participants for attending this session and making this session wonderful. So thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Desai, sir. Sir, I have gone through the YouTube channel, and actually we received a very good feedback regarding this. Such participants are quite satisfied, and the excellent session was there. That means the comments are like that.